This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, welcome everyone for the first Satoru community call. Very excited for this first community call. Satoru is the latest project we started in the exploration team. And I have to say that I was amazed by the start of the project. It was really amazing. Many people from the community joined directly the Telegram chat, and we had directly a lot of contributors who submitted a pull request the first day. So I'm very happy about the start of the project. It's very promising. Of course, it's only the beginning. I want to mention a few things before we deep dive into the agenda of today. So this project is a bit special for multiple reasons. So far on the exploration team, we have been focused heavily on the infrastructure. We have been working on Kakarot, the ZKVM, then on Virus, the light client, then on Madara, the Starknet sequencers for AppChain. And now this is really the first time where we focus on a project that is a DApp and not an infrastructure project. So it comes with some new challenges and also a few things that are important we need to be careful about some aspects, and I will share a few of them. So first of all, we really want this project to be a public good project, and we want to remain very neutral. It means that we want everyone in the community to have the possibility to take it and build a product and a business on top of it. And it's very important. I mean, we are still learning in the process of creating projects in the exploration team. And now we want to avoid to kind of pick a winner and design some people in the community that will be endorsed as the leaders of the project. So yes, it will be very important. That's why I really invite anyone that wants to build a product or business on top of Satoru. We will definitely help everyone in the community that wants to build a product. So far, we already have a team that started to build their project on top of Satoru. I will let them intro the project later. But just to be clear, it's very important that this team is not endorsed as the leader of the project. It's a community project that is open source and it's a public good project. So yeah, I wanted to make it very explicit. So yeah. Okay, now we can start about the agenda. We will start with an introduction about GMX and how to use it from a user point of view and give some high-level overview of what is GMX and what you can do with it, stuff like that. And then we'll have an architecture deep dive of the protocol, of GMX v2 specifically. So GMX is a perpetual exchange on Arbitrum. And it has a new architecture, what they call GMX v2. And we started with the GMX v2 design as inspiration for Satoru. It's a very interesting design that is very modular. And it was a very interesting case for developing a complex Cairo code base. And we believe we can do something that will be even better than the Solidity implementation in Cairo, especially once we will have components. So yes, Zarbok will do a deep dive of the architecture. And then we'll have Niso, who will share his experience building a front end for GMX. And then we will go through the issue backlog and guide people who have questions about how to start contributing to Satoru, stuff like that. And yeah, of course, as usual, we can have Q&A sessions, and it's very an interactive session. And so if you want to ask a question or add comments on something, yeah, feel free to do it. We want it to be really interactive. So yes, we can start. Yes, Starknet, you want to start?
Yes, of course. Maybe I just need to restart Zoom because of some security requirements of the
Yes,
Mac.
sure. Yeah, please do. Bora, meanwhile, can you introduce Zohal also?
Yeah, so Zohal, we are a team of we are 5 developers. Like we are three backend Cairo smart contract developers, and 2 front-end developers. So 3 of us are here. So it's me, Bora. There is also Starknet and Michel, who is here also. And we have two other developers who are not here. And so we are a team like building Satoru, but also we are building our own project like on top of Satoru, which will be like GMX V2 with our own front end that we are building also. But the front end will be available like for testing for Satoru also. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Yeah, it will be important. Like, for example, we discussed with the whole team and we agreed on the fact that the license should allow anyone to use it for testing purposes. And we will reference their front end in the README of Satoru as one possible alternative. And then when people build other front end, we will also, of course, reference them as possible front end alternative for Satoru. Okay, let's go, Starknet.
Let's go. So hello, everyone. I will now provide you with the presentation and demonstration of what we can achieve with GMX. As we can see here, so we need to connect our wallet as like every DApp. And as we can see here, we have multiple charts like BTC USD, ETH USD, which represent different market available for trading. And on the right here, there are various available options, like the long option, which means betting on the price going up. We have the short option, which means betting on the price going down, and the swap, like all classical swaps. So here for each market, we have a long token, short token, and an index token. The index token is the token used as the basis for the token's price. The long token is the collateral token used to enter a long position, and the short token is the collateral token used to enter a short position. Index token is usually the same as the long token, and the short token is usually a stable coin. Okay, so we're going to try to do a long to put a long position. So here,
maybe we can explain why usually the long token is the same token and usually the short token is
yes.
stable coin. Yeah.
Yes, because for the short token we need to refer to a coin that doesn't. I don't know how to say.
Because like if I can explain it, if you
Yes, you
want.
can.
Like if I'm entering a short position, and like because the short and long collateral are also the token like to pay for winning trades. So if my short position is winning, like the collateral is in USD, so it won't decrease. Like if the price of the token is decreasing, like it won't decrease, so I will be able to pay like the winners. And it's the same for the long, like for long. If my collateral is in the same token as the long token, if the price of the token increase and people are winning, I will be able to pay them because also my collateral will increase. And that's
exactly. You want a correlation between that. Mm-hmm. So for the long token, it can be another token that is not the same token as the index token, but usually you want something that will be correlated. Like for example, ETH and Solana, maybe you can say that maybe if Solana is rising, there is a chance that ETH also as well. But of course, you need to handle the cases when one is rising faster than another, etc. So it's riskier. So the simplest thing to do is to have the long token that is the same as the index token. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Please go ahead, Spark.
Okay. So here we're going to put a long position. So we first of all have to pay with the collateral token. So here I choose the Arbitrum token, and here is the token we are longing. So I'd like to long Ethereum. So I try to put one ARB, but as we can see here, I can't make an order under $1. So we have to put a minimum amount of $1. Put like 3 ARBs. Okay, and as we can see here, we can set a leverage thanks to the leverage slider. I'm going to put 20 up, and let's put our long position. So
Can you
here,
explain what is the leverage for those who are not familiar?
the leverage
please?
is like a multiplicator. Say in English.
Multiplier.
A multiplier to earn 20 more. It's like
Okay.
to
Yes, so basically it's the goal is to be able to put a position that is bigger than what you actually have in terms of liquidity, but you take more risk, obviously, because, for example, if you do 20x leverage like this, if there is a price difference of 5%, you will be liquidated, meaning that you will lose everything.
Yes, and it's important to note that the higher the leverage you use, the higher the chance of getting liquidated. And so here we can see that I'm paying $2.45 for a position of $48.35. Our liquidation price is set to, this is our liquidation price, which is when ETH goes down to this price, our collateral will be liquidated. Here also we have the slippage, which is the price difference between the first and the last ETH that we will purchase, and this is our collateral amount. So put our long position. Okay, so just wait for the transaction, and our open position will be opened here. Okay, so here we have our open position with all the informations. So the token we are longing, the leverage, it's a long position, the net value of our collateral here to see if we are in the profit or in loss. So I'm in loss. The size of my position, the amount of the initial amount of my collateral, the entry price, the price that was for ETH when we make the position, the market price, which is the current price, and the liquidation price is like I said before, the price the price of ETH when will be liquidated. Okay, so now we have several options. Like at any moment, we can close. We can click on the close button to close our to end the position and retrieve our deposited collateral. Like as you can see here, I can close the position right now. And here we can see the profit and loss. So here I'm in loss of 3 cents. But we can also set a trigger order, a stop loss or take profit, which allows us to withdraw a certain amount of money at a specific price. Like for example, here I can choose to withdraw 50% of my position at a price of like let's do a stop loss at this price, so 1,545. So when ETH goes to this price, 50% of my position will be withdrawn. Okay, okay, that's and we can do the same thing with a higher price, with a take profit. If we'd like to take profit with like for example 1,590 USD for ETH price. Okay, so this is the trigger option, and we can also modify our collateral amount. Like if we see if we notice that we are losing too much, and our collateral is nearly gone, we can add and deposit more tokens to increase our collateral. And we can also, if we are gaining, if we see that we are gaining we are earning money, and we are far from the liquidation, we can choose to withdraw a certain amount of our collateral here. And it's the same thing for short, the same options, same features. And the swap is like a classical swap, like every DeFi app.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that gives a good overview from a user perspective. And now let's go into the architecture deep dive by Bora, please.
Yep. Just showing my screen. You see my screen?
Not the good one.
Oh, yeah, you see the, yeah, okay. But it's
Yes.
changing when I, okay.
Okay, nice.
So I just wanted to speak like about the main difference first between the like V1 and V2. So the main difference is that in V1 we had like one big pool of token, like for like every token were in only one index, and the main issue with that was that like to get exposed like to long or short any token, you had to get exposed like to every token, and maybe you didn't want to, and also it was hard like to add I don't know, like a 50 or 100 token, because you can't put all that in a single pool. It will involve like more gas and more computation and stuff like that. And on the V2, we now have as I mean said, we have market for every tradable pair with like long token, short token, and index token. So that's the main difference. Now I'm going to show like the protocol architecture. So as Abdel said, the protocol is divided in maybe I will zoom a bit. Yeah. So the protocol is divided in modules, and modules are interacting with each other. So for users, the main entry point, the main module is the router module. This is from where a user will initiate all their actions. Like if they want to create, I don't know, a deposit or an order or withdrawal or claim their fees, they will do it from the router. Then like it's the main entry point for the users, but not like the only entry point. Like we have a keeper and stuff like that. I will talk about it later, but it's the main entry point for the user. So let's say the user want to create, I don't know, a deposit. We'll call the function in the router to create its deposit. Then it will go to the exchange. The exchange is a module where we have all the handler, like the handler of, I don't know, the deposit handler, withdrawal handler, and the handler of every functions. It had some layer of check. Then it calls the right module to execute what the user wants. So in the case of the deposit, then it will call the deposit module. And in the deposit module, we will have all the utility functions, like to really create the deposit, like to store it in the data store and stuff like that. So here we see that, for example, deposit is interacting with the bank module. So it's more like a side module. So what it does is that its role is to check like a token transfer, like if it checks that if a user has transfer tokens. Also, we see that it's using like the pricing module, because when you are depositing in a pool, you have to like deposit a collateral, but you can deposit a token that is not the right collateral. Like if the pool is I don't know, like ETH USD, you have to make a loan, you have to deposit maybe ETH, but you can I don't know, deposit another token like Bitcoin, and it will get swapped to the right token. And for that, we'll have to like compute price impact of your swap to swap Bitcoin to ETH, and it's the role of the pricing module. Then the main thing is that your deposit will get created and stored in what we call the data module. So it contains what we call the data store, and the data store is a place where it's a bit like a database where everything gets stored. So this is how it works. It's a simplified vision of how it works, because there are a lot, like here we see like maybe 10 modules, but there are like 30 maybe. So there is a lot more, but it would be too complicated. So I made this one. Yeah, and also another important thing is that when you are executing an action on GMX or on Satoru, it gets executed in 2 steps. First, user, like we say Bob here, if you want to create an order, you will call the create order function, and this order will get stored in the order storage. We saw it like a bit earlier. It's in the data, but it won't get executed. Like it will only get stored, and that's all. Then we have the keeper. Keeper is an off-chain, mostly like most of the time, it's an off-chain bot that is monitoring the protocol. And he will see that Bob created an order because we will emit an event. So when he sees that Bob created this event, he will check it, make some verifications on it, and then he will execute the order if the order is okay to execute. And why is
Do you know what kind of trust assumptions that it brings? What kind of malicious things can the keeper do? Like basically the whole thing about this mechanism is to prevent some MEV, bad MEV stuff or security vulnerability. But I'm wondering what kind of bad actions can the keeper do other than censoring the transaction? Because I guess the simple thing to do is to censor transactions, like not calling the actual not executing the action even if the bot got it. But yeah, do you know? Or
so I think it's the main issue, as you said, is like censorship. I don't think we can prevent it, but I don't think there is other issues than that, because the keeper will only execute the order only execute the order you created. Like he can't execute something like you didn't want to be executed.
Yeah,
so that's
sure.
the main issue.
And there is an economic incentive to execute it, right?
Yeah, you need to like to leave some gas like for the execution, and I think like the keeper also maybe get
take some fees.
Take some fees. But the keeper are, well, from what I saw, the keeper are like it's the keeper from the protocol. Like not anybody can be a keeper.
Yeah, it's whitelisted accounts that can be keeper. Yeah, there is a role management.
Exactly.
And this is handled by the role module.
Exactly.
By the way, it's a good point. Forgot to mention, but like for the moment on Satoru, we are working only on the smart contracts. There will be the front end implemented by Zohal that will be available for testing purposes. But we will also start soon the off-chain components that are required for the protocol. So the plan is to build them in Rust. And for those, they will be part of Satoru as public good, and it can be used by Zohal or other products, or maybe some people want to implement their own off-chain components, but at least we want to have the full end-to-end protocol available for testing purposes as public good. Yeah.
Right. So we will create a repo for the keeper, and I mean that's what you are saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll create those repo, and they will be available. To test the protocol.
Okay, great. So the main benefits of the the main benefits of the keeper, it's only for security, is that one, like first user can't like directly initiate like actions. He can't execute them, like it's keeper who are executing them, so it prevents like user from sending like I don't know, like wrong order or wrong thing, or maybe spamming the protocol, and also it's protecting the user from, as you said, from MEV, like being front run or sandwich attack and stuff like that. So that's all for the keeper. And now I'm going to like to show a small walkthrough through the code, like go through the code a bit, like to show how it works. This two-step execution. So I will show in the Solidity implementation, because we have some missing thing in Cairo. So as I said first, like user is getting in the router. This is the entry point. Like we'll go for like maybe create deposit function. So user is calling create deposit function with these parameters. So he say I want to create an order like that, a deposit like that, sorry, and stuff like that. Then it's calling like the handler, and the handler, as we said, is in the exchange. And we can see here like that it's performing some checks. Here it's checking that the feature is enabled. The feature can be anything, like any action in the protocol, but most of the time features are always enabled. I think it's only like under an attack we can disable features or stuff like that, but it should be always enabled. And then, as we said, it's calling the deposit utils, which is in the we see here in the deposit module. So it's where like the real things get executed and the deposit created and stored. We can go through the code a bit. We have some checks here, like checking if the account is not, like say, safety checks on the account, like checking is not 0. Then we get the market, because as we said, when we are depositing collateral, we are depositing them in a specific market. So we are retrieving the market. Then validating swap pass, as we said, you can like deposit a token that is not the right one, so it gets swapped to the right one. Then what's happening is that, it's what we said, the bank, because deposit vault is a bank, so it's recording a transfer that happened to check that if like the user deposited like the long token or the short token first. So it's checking that. We don't have that in like all the things that are related to wrapped native token. We don't have that in Starknet, or maybe yet. Maybe we'll have it in the future. I don't know.
No, we'll never have it.
Okay.
Because there is no native token. Because
Okay.
even it itself is an ERC20 token. So
yeah. So
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so we won't have this thing related to the
No.
native token, but it's only checking like it's for fee reason, because it's only like adding fees and deducing fees, stuff like that. Here we are checking that the user has deposited here token, like because if he has deposited zero token, we just throw an error because it's a deposit, so you need to deposit. Here we are adding more checks, and here we are really creating like the object of like the deposit object, because we have for every action, like for an order we have an object, for withdrawal we have an object, like a struct which we are creating. So here it's stored in a different struct. Us in our Cairo implementation, we had it in a single struct, because we can do that in Cairo and not in Solidity because of stack to deep issues, but we don't have that in Cairo, so we did it in a single one. So we are creating the deposit with all the field provided by the user. We are adding some other checks, and then here we are getting a key. And what is a key? A key is what is used like when you are storing in the data store, like things in the data store, they are identified by a key. It's like an ID in SQL or in other programming language. It's just like to identify our order or what we are storing in the data store. And then here we are what we do here is that we are storing it we are storing our deposit in the data store, so it can get retrieved after by the keeper. Here we are emitting the event, so the keeper can see it and say, okay, this guy just created a deposit. I will execute it. I will check it and then execute it, and we return the key. And after that, what happened is that the keeper he will go in the exchange, like deposit handler, and we have like a execute deposit function. We just call it, and it will like execute the deposit directly. So I won't dive in this one, but so you get the like a big view of what's happening. And that's all for the.
Maybe you can explain how we deviated a bit from the implementation of the data store to store the business objects like deposit and market and others.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I showed that that I think like for deposit, what they were doing is that they have like a deposit store util, and like to store, for example, I don't know, set. Yeah, like to store a deposit, they are taking like every field of the deposit one by one and storing the field like one by one. And that's what they were doing in JMX. And what we are doing is that we directly have in the data store, like I think is set deposit, like we're directly taking the object and and storing it directly like the full object in the data store and updating like the field of the object if we need it directly. Yeah, so that's what you meant?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the difference of what we are
Yeah.
doing.
There is a trade-off though. I think the Solidity implementation is more flexible in the sense that once you when you add new kind of business objects, you don't have to touch the data store because it's capable of storing any kind of arbitrary data. For our implementation in Cairo, we have created some coupling between the data store and the business objects. So it means the data store needs to know the format of the data structure for those objects, which is a bit of coupling. And probably it's for sure less flexible. And this coupling breaks a bit the promise of the modularity. But we decided to do this for the moment because it's a lot of overhead actually to store and manipulate each data object for each field. Like we thought it would be a lot of overhead. So for now we are doing this, and we accept to have a small coupling between the data store and the different business objects. Yeah. So maybe in the future will change. We need also to analyze the trade-offs in terms of performance, stuff like that. But right now we'll keep doing this because we believe it's easier to maintain. Hey.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just to get it right, because this is kind of important. So you decided to store struct rather than specifically store each variable through a key. Now this reduces a ton of code. This is nice. But yeah, it does make sure, kind of actually force you to create a structure for your data. So that might cause some issues for upgradability, but so I just want to know what's the trade-off? I mean, why would you consider storing struct rather than just storing arbitrary values? Is it gas issues? What's the most?
It's a very good question. Actually, I'm still not sure about all implications, but the naive intuition was mainly about maintainability of the code and the reducing a lot of verbosity in the code, because for each business object like deposit, you need to create a store utils for each of them to manipulate each field to make it easy to set and get the data structure directly, but you need to add a lot of code. So it was mainly to reduce some complexity in the code. We still don't know about the trade-offs in terms of computation and cost of storage. But because maybe, in Cairo, there is some notion of packing. So when you store data, you can implement traits, and then you can have some packing of data. So it might be better to store them as one struct and use this packing technique. but for the moment we don't know. But yes, you are right. It creates some limitations in terms of upgradability because you will have to update the data store if you add new modules and new business data objects. So it's very good point. We know that. We'll identify the different trade-offs once we are able to measure exactly the performances and once we implement the packing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. We're happy to see how this progresses. And I think, by the way, it's okay as long that your logic is decoupled, so you can upgrade the logic and know the data structure, because the data structure doesn't need to change. You have really issue if you need to change data structure. But yeah, it's really nice. Let's see how it progresses.
Yeah, right. Thank you for raising this. Yeah, okay. Okay. Bora, did you finish the deep dive?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so it's a good transition. You can go. You can continue and explain about your experience building a front end for GMX. Yeah. It burns. I don't remember your name, by the way. It burns.
You can call me Burns. It's okay. It's a pseudonym.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Please. I'd like to remain anonymous.
Yeah, sure. Totally. I totally respect that. Yeah.
Sorry, it's my time?
Yeah, it's your time. Yeah, please share your experience. I would like you to give us some insights about the GMX Blueberry Club initiative. What is it exactly? What is the link with the GMX core team? What did you like in your experience? What do you think could be improved? I'm also curious about the governance model of the protocol and the implication for people who contributed to it, and also then talk about your experience between front ends for GMX.
Yeah, so a little bit of background. I've been an early contributor to GMX, and now I decided to build my own big project. Hopefully it will be big. So what I'm doing is building an alternative user interface for GMX, and also building my own protocol, which is supposed to have a copy trading capabilities. So the idea is also to bring non-traders to trading and perpetual trading, because I think most users are not traders. And there's a lot of, DeFi is amazing to have this social aspect of, like for example, Unibot, for example, takes a lot of some social dynamics to it, at least their future initiatives. So it would be nice to have some kind of social environment where traders, instead of claiming on Twitter that they are the best traders in the world, let's see them on chain. Let's see this chaos happening, and I'll bring a lot of engagement, and that's the reason we're in crypto. It's the P2P environment. So I've been building first a user interface, which is also currently available on blueberry.club. So I've been focusing a lot of user experience in the trading UI. Mostly, if you look at GMX, you can adjust and change your trade through many ways, which is not very user friendly. What I'm trying to do is focus, do everything in a single trade box. For example, if you want to adjust the trade, you don't need to have another pop-up. You can just adjust it through, like for example, your leverage. If you have an existing position, let's say you open a position on 10x, and you have an existing position. The UI should show you that you already have an existing position. When you adjust the leverage, it's just show you the changes. So you don't need another trade box. Hopefully, I'll release some more information once it's ready. But you have an example in a Blueberry Club. And now I'm actually working on the V2 of GMX, building another an opinionated way to build to trade on GMX V2. And also I'm taking all these ideas that first you can adjust the trade. Everything is in a single trade box instead of pop-ups, and a lot of UI interfaces. And also trying to also include limit orders by clicking on the chart, which is nice. Maybe also in the future we'll have a way to add multiple orders in a single transaction. For example, in GMX right now, if you want to set up a limit order, you have to just you have to set it up and submit a transaction. I think it's nice to have to do multiple limit orders on a single transaction, just to save the gas costs. What else? Sorry, lost track. Anything you want to know, Abdel? Or yes?
Yes, a few questions. So for this front end, would you be open if some contributors on Satoru project will submit some pull request for support of Starknet, or don't you think that it's interesting for you? Do you consider doing your application also for the copy trading on Starknet, stuff like that? Would you be interested in collaborating together in also defining some ways to have front end that will seamlessly work for EVM chains and Starknet, assuming they have the same API? I think it can be interesting for us, for Starknet in general, to be to attract more applications that are already on EVM chains. But maybe we can build some kind of front-end libraries that can make it easy to switch from an EVM chain to Starknet. Yeah, I was just curious to hear about that. And if you're interested, of course, we can discuss about it privately and see what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the beginning, I am trying to focus on GMX right now.
Okay.
But I imagine in the future we will include, because the project is also it's supposed to be an aggregator, so we should support any an additional chains. I'm not sure what the complexity will be to include a non-EVM chain like a Starknet, but I hope there will be enough tooling to have it seamlessly without any issues. And but I think let's say we will look at the future. I think in the future, the idea is that you have a wallet, and it doesn't matter if you are on Starknet or an Arbitrum. All you care about is just to have your wallet and you have your funds. And so when you open a trade, it goes through an aggregator or maybe an awfully. So the idea is that you go through our DApp and. Well, I think first, I think wallets have to solve it. Yeah. So a wallet will say, look, you just deposit. I will handle the routing in my wallet. You don't know what a Starknet is. The wallet actually handles all the efficiency towards where the funds are stored and how to transfer. So we'll have to see like a future like this, like a more user-friendly future where users don't have to deal with networks, and I think it's account abstraction can actually be composed with that. We'll have to see. But so
sure.
this is way far in the future. But anyway, I mean, I would really love to first see how you guys are doing. I want to see your progress, and hopefully, yeah. I'm sure we'll do something.
Okay, cool. I had a question. So there are some incentives to build the custom frontend, right? Or the GMX. The provider of the frontend can take some fees, if I understand correctly.
Yes, there are two factors. One is UI frontend fees. Which you can. I haven't really delved into it too much, but so yeah, there's one UI frontend fees, and the other one is the referral fees. So the referral is something that the UI can opt in, and additionally, the UI fees itself. I'm not sure how it works, but I have to dig into it. I don't think I've set it up yet. But right now, what we're doing is just taking a referral fees, which is
that's
really
very
nice.
interesting. The fact that there's an incentive for many alternatives front end, and specifically in my case, where I want to really attract multiple projects to build on top of the protocol, because we want to remain neutral. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to explore the UI fee and the referral fee mechanism. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And also, I think it will be nice to create a monorepo, which is one is the front end, which is anyone can build a front end. So I think it should have like a monorepo where there's a middleware. A middleware is something that a project that has its own UI can import and avoid building all this logical front end logic. Would be nice. I mean,
that's
a monorepo. You can have one. First, build your own implementation like GMX in React, but the middleware will be unopinionated. So anyone can build their own, maybe different type of React UI, or maybe a different framework. For example, some people like Svelte. I built my own UI framework, and nobody can read it. So it's one thing.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
But you have to do it anyway, right? I mean, if you build a project, you have to build the logic anyway.
It's a good point. I mean, okay, we want the protocol itself to remain neutral, okay, and then ideally we want multiple front-end alternatives. But the problem is that I'm not sure, like, if we want to put a lot of resources on building the front end as part of the public good just for testing purposes. I would prefer to have one or multiple people building on top of Satoru for their own project, giving access to the front end for testing purposes with a special license that will obviously prevent others to use it for commercial purposes. I am just wondering if it can hurt the neutrality of the project if we start to build the front end. But it's a good point. I want something to be able to test it end to end, not only the contract, but the front end and also the off-chain components. But we need to do it in a way that remains neutral. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, we need to think about it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, and can you share a bit about the governance, the interaction between this DAO and the team and stuff like that?
Oh, specifically, you're talking about the Blueberry, or I mean, there's actually 3 governance projects which I'm part of. One is GMX, the other one is Blueberry, and the one which we're hoping to build is the Puppet DAO. Hopefully, who knows?
Okay, can you explain the interaction between those and the governance of the protocol? How does it play out?
Yeah, so GMX is GMX. GMX has its own foundational core development, you could say, group that is called the GMX Labs, and they handle most of the developments inside of GMX. And most of the team is, I think, full-time. Most of them are full-time workers, and they get funding through through a proposal that they propose each year. That's for GMX. As for the Blueberry Club, it's just a fun NFT project which became kind of the face of GMX. So also it will be nice to see like an NFT project for Satoru, maybe to have some kind of some kind of a community vibe.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
it brings people together. It doesn't have to be too involved with money, but I imagine it will be nice. So the Blueberry Club is just an NFT with the face of blueberries. Most of the GMX contributors and some of the hardcore community members, they all have this PFP of Blueberry. And the Blueberry Club has started with some kind of a treasury, which started with a grant from GMX. So for example, when we started, if you buy a Blueberry, you get some incentives. You get a reward in ESGMX into airdrop to your wallet. And by the way, I suggest not to do that.
What were the issues?
I think it has to be handled. For example, you have to manage the airdrop. You can create maybe a contract, but I think to simplify things, maybe just to grant over time, just grant money over time based on the performance. See that everything is good over time to the community NFT project, and to see how they progresses, how things are going. And that community project basically helps to coordinate the community itself. I mean, for example, I was part in creating this NFT, and from this NFT I created my own front end for GMX, and we also created the leaderboard. So we try to bring a lot of social stuff to the community to create. It's very important to upkeep a community, to create some kind of social circles so people can feel belong to.
And when you say community, you don't talk only about builders, right? Also about regular users.
Yeah, people who basically hold your token and have incentives.
Okay. So it's not something that we'll have to deal with for the Satoru itself as a public good, but people like, for example, the team building Zohal, who is building an actual product using Satoru, they will have to deal with this kind of thing there. But for us as a public good project, we don't have to deal with this because we will never launch the project on mainnet. We will never have a token, etc. So we don't have to deal with this. We just want to focus on the incentivization of builders contributing to the public good protocol, and then people building actual projects and businesses with it. They will have to deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, first, whatever you guys are doing is amazing. Like seeing the things you are doing in Cairo, the difference between Cairo and Solidity is amazing. Like the limitation you don't have to deal with.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
Yeah, exactly. And when we will have the component system, so it will be amazing. So basically, component system is a very powerful mechanism that is, in my opinion, way superior to the Solidity inheritance mechanism. It's superior in terms of composability, but also in terms of security. So it's a mechanism that will enable to have very strong composability, but without the downsides of inheritance that you have in Solidity, especially in terms of security, stuff like that. So yes, once we have that, I'm sure we can do a very good architecture for the project that can be better than the Solidity one. Yeah. Also, because we can add a lot of compiler plugins to build our own macros, stuff like that, that can make the code very elegant and easy to maintain. So yeah.
Nice. Amazing. Nice. Let's see those threads. I mean, it would be nice to get some feedback to get get a lot of frustrated Solidity developers maybe migrating into Cairo.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Okay, thank you very much for sharing your experience, and I hope we can collaborate more in the future. I'm happy if you can join to the future community calls and stuff like that. Okay, now we can maybe do a small Q&A session, and also for some people who want to contribute but who don't know where to start, we can guide you and give some information. Maybe we can go through quickly through the backlog of available issues, and you can raise interest if you want to contribute on one issue. Few things about the project that we forgot to mention. So for the dependency management, we are using Scarb, and for the testing, we are using Starknet Foundry. We still have some. We need to upgrade to the next release of Foundry next week. This release will be very important. It will bring a lot of new features that we need. For example, the mocking of external calls to external dependencies. That makes our testing a bit slow now, because for each module we test, we need to deploy all the dependencies. So once we have the mock of external calls, we don't have to actually deploy external dependencies to test one module. So it will speed up a lot the tests. And yeah, a lot of quality of life improvements that we need. Yes, so basically. Bora, you want to go through the available issues maybe?
I think Amin created some, so we can show them.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, I can show you current issues. So first of all, guys, we want to thank you because as soon as we put issues, they're already taken. So
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
So
yeah. My budget on Lidust is not as happy as you, but yeah, no, I'm joking. It's amazing. I'm very, very happy. And please force me to ask for more budget. I want you to completely destroy the budget so that I can have reasons to ask more.
So we've added some issues yesterday, and I think some people asked for them, but I'll show you the 3 more I added now before the community call. It is I have to I will add more information on, but we have this file market utils, which is a big file, and there is many functions in it, and I think it's the last one we have not implemented yet. So we decided to divide it in 3 issues because he's very big, and so the first issue is to implement from this function to this function. The second one to this one, and the third one I have to finish this to finish the file.
Okay, don't you think we could split even more? Like, I mean, like 1 function per issue, or it will be too small?
Like what? Sorry.
Do you think we could split even more and have 1 issue per function, or do you think it will be too small?
No, it's too small for 1 function because
okay.
For an example,
those functions are not very
functions
complex.
are not very big. It's just a return, or it's just if. And we have to add some more because I think we will refactor callback utils. I'll show you callback utils.
Wait a second, there is a question from Daniel. Yes, please, Daniel.
Hey guys, good morning.
Hey.
So quick question. My main not concern, but just my main doubt right now is the testing procedures, right? Like sometimes I'm implementing functions and I'm not sure exactly what I should be testing, if I should be testing every single function. I'm not sure if that's been established yet. In some cases, it's kind of hard to even test a function because some of the functions called inside aren't even implemented, right? So that's kind of up here for me right now.
It's a very good point. So my vision on that is the following. Okay, so yes, we should test each and every function for sure, and we can do it gradually. So like basically the idea is that we should test like every important change in the storage. Like if something, like if a function is doing some modification in the storage, we should check it. We should check emitted events, and we should check external calls contracts. But don't focus too much on checking external contracts for the moment, because we'll do it differently once we mock the external calls. But at least for now, I will check the storage changes and the emitted events for sure. At the very least, this will be the thing we should test for every function. And even if some functions have still some parts that are not implemented yet, but we can always iterate. I think it's pretty standalone. I mean, you can check all the storage changes that are already implemented and all the events that are already emitted. And that's for unit tests. For now, we don't have the equivalent of some integration tests. And for this, we'll need to test also the actual business logic. And for that, my hope is that we can leverage the integration tests present in actual JMX code base in Solidity and use the same exact assertions, basically. Actually, we can even, I don't know if we can think about some kind of automation or fuzzing through the actual Solidity implementation. It will not be easy. Yeah, emit events are already tested as unit tests. Is it worth to retest it? Yes, I see what you mean. I forgot something, like, because tests are emitted through one contract, which is the event emitter. So what you say, Fabien, is that because we already test the event emitter, no need to test that event are emitted in those contracts. Yes, but we need to test that the function of the event emitter are called. But that's different. We need a system in Foundry that can enable you to say, I want to verify that this function, even if I don't call an actual contract, I want to verify that this mock function is called once, twice, or I don't know the number you want to verify with those parameters, stuff like that, equivalent of SPY features in some testing frameworks. Yeah, but that's a valid point. I forgot that we are emitting events through one contract, which is the event emitter. Okay, that's a good point. So, okay, I agree. It would be overkill to check the emission of the events in the contract. I agree. We need to wait until we can check that the functions of the event emitter are called. Does it make sense? Okay, cool.
I think.
Yeah.
I just want to add one more information. So when there is some dependencies missing on issues, so you can't implement your function because of missing one called by your function. You just write the tests without a real assert. You see, just write the skeleton of the test, just like here. So deploy the contract, build the arguments, and just call the function, and just add a to-do, and we will add issues to test to really test this function when all the dependencies will be implemented. One more thing, for the callback utils contract, also we will review it and check if we need to change the implementation because this it's a contract, right? Because the library uses event data event data, yes, exactly, event data, and we don't want to have this kind of implementation for events on Satoru. So there will be maybe a discussion for this contract.
And also we have an available issue for like to fix same grep output on our GitHub action. So
right.
Yes,
by the way, yes,
all the issues are taken.
Oh, really? Okay,
yes.
but Fabien, you raised a good point. Fabien said, by the way, we should maybe refactor event emitter to use snapshot instead of reference for to emit events. Yes, completely. Can you please create an issue and comment it? We will assign it to you, Fabien. That's a very good point. If you can, tell us if you have the availability, but please create the issue, and if you can do it, let us know and we'll assign it to you. That's a good point. We should use snapshot everywhere we can when we don't have to modify the value. Okay, Fabien, then create the issue and comment it, and we'll assign you. Even if you can do it only next week, it's fine. We can book it for you. Okay, so we need more issues, basically.
Yes, we'll add it now. Yes, there are just this one is free, but I think this one, yeah, we'll assign you all. So we'll add for callback utils, for contracts that are implemented but not tested yet and can be tested. Yes, I think we are good. Yes.
Okay, and do we have any issues for the
maybe for the fuzzer and the tot?
Yeah, and do we have issue to fix the reports from the security tools like Caracal and SameGrep?
Yes.
And are they assigned?
Here we have SameGrep. And I don't know, Caracal is fixed now?
Yeah, it's a sign.
I think the issue is confusing. It's not fixing
yes,
the center
here.
output.
Caracal
Yeah.
and SMGrep.
I did not understand when you said fix SMGrep output. It's not fixing the output of SMGrep. It's actually applying or not the security rules that are reported in the report. Yes. So there is a first work of filtering. Then also we can think for the future to what are the security issues we consider as blocking, like that should fail the CI, and what others are just warning that we decide or not to fix. Yes, and also we need to always think about new rules. Like if we have some ideas of new patterns in Cairo that should be avoided in terms of security, we can discuss with the Avenue team. They are working on the rules, and they are much more than welcoming feedback to add new rules. So it can be very beneficial for the whole ecosystem. So yes. Okay. And then, we'll have a bunch of issues related to the off-chain components soon. So Bora, once you have done a complete analysis of the require the components, please let me know so that I can create a repo, initiate the components, and then we can split the issues so that it can be good, because we can also onboard the Rust developers in addition to the Cairo developers that can work on the smart contract. So I think it can boost the Satoru community and engage more Rust developers.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I'll do that.
Okay, very good. So I think we can wrap it up. Thank you again for your presence during this call. I'm amazed by the traction of this project in the community. I think, is there a project timeline? It's a good question. There is no clear timeline. We hope that we can have a first MVP in a month, basically. Let's say basically end of October to have an MVP and the first demo for an end-to-end flow, like being able to create a position and close it and stuff like that with the front end, including the front end. So this is the timeline. And then the timeline regarding the project itself as an exploration team project, it will depend on how many entities are building a product with it, and because we want the project at some point to become autonomous, like the other ones in the exploration team, like Kakarot, for example. But for that, we will need to make sure that the project can be autonomous and well maintained if the exploration team is not working anymore on it, and if there is no more incentivization layer through only dust. So this is not clear yet. It will depend on how strong will be the project and how many entities have long-term incentives to maintain it and to maintain it also as a public good project, and eventually pay contributors or hire them to work directly on the protocol as part of their core team. Yeah. Okay. So if there is no other question, we can conclude here from the first community call. We'll publish it on YouTube and put the link in the GitHub discussion. And the next community call will be in 2 weeks. And yeah, thank you.